Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Criterion. In this edition, we look at Jonathan Glazer's film Birth, starring Nicole Kidman, coming to the collection on 4K UHD. It's safe to say that Jonathan Glazer is a unique and visionary English director, and examining his earlier work, he started in 1993 with 3 short films, Mad, Pool and Commission, made by his own production company in central London. He also directed advertising campaigns for Guinness and Stella Artois. In fact, he directed countless commercials in his earlier career. And he also directed music videos from groups like Massive Attack and worked with Radiohead on their videos for Street Spirit and Karma Police. In fact, Karma Police won him the MTV Video Music Award for Best Direction in 1997. Now, his first film feature was intended to be Gangster Number 1, but creative casting here had a difference, and that caused him to exit from that project. And of course, he then went on to direct the much-lauded Sexy Beast. Now, this was followed by the feature we're about to look at now, Birth, from 2004, starring Nicole Kidman. Birth is an American psychological drama co-written and directed by Jonathan Glazer. It stars Nicole Kidman as Anna. She is one half of a married couple living in New York City. Now, Anna lost her husband, Sean, 10 years ago and has to come to terms with that loss and move on with her life. But one day, during a family birthday, a young boy, stranger, turns up unannounced and says he is Sean and he's been reborn and is before her. Now, firstly, for those who believe in reincarnation, this is a vilification of its power. But for the first 2 scenes of the film, it shows her husband's death while jogging in Central Park and his rebirth, and the fact he doesn't believe in reincarnation. Glazer wanted to make a film about the idea of eternal love and the mystery of the heart, but he wasn't particularly interested in the paranormal per se. Now, he discussed his script idea with Jean-Claude Carrière at his producer's recommendation, and he flew back and forth to collaborate and work with them as a script consultant. The script itself went through 21 separate drafts before he came to the final screenplay. Co-screenwriter Milo Adika worked on the story with him also. And just prior to principal photography, the 2 writers decided to refocus the entire film on the woman instead of on the boy. Now, Kidman was worried about her current celebrity status at the time and it damaging the character that she was going to play. But of course, she turned out to be perfectly cast and she totally inhabited the role of Anna. Other casting in the film was strong, with Jonathan Glazer choosing Danny Houston, Lauren Bacall as Eleanor, Anne Heche as Claire, and Peter Stormare as Clifford. And of course, the boy, a difficult and demanding role, was played by Cameron Bright. He was cast in that role and really delivered. Anna's mother is Eleanor, played by Lauren Bacall, and her sister Laura is played by Alison Elliott. Her brother-in-law, Rob, is played by Arliss Hard, and her close friends, Clara and Clifford, of course. They're all involved in the dilemma they are presented with. Anna denies the fact that it is her husband, Sean. An expected reaction from her here, but then her inquisitiveness forces her to question, even test the boy. And at that point, it's clear something unusual is going on here. From initial denial, of course, we then get belief, and we get a nearly 3-minute close-up of Anna's face during an opera performance. Now, this is where Jonathan Glazer differs from some other filmmakers in this regard. It reminds me of the almost interminable wait we had watching Scarlett Johansson's victims as they submerged themselves in a jet black substance, absorbing them in under the skin. Birth proves to be an effective thriller because it's true to the way that sophisticated people might behave in a certain situation. Its characters are not movie creatures. They're not gullible, emotional, and quickly moved to tears. Birth is a dark, brooding film, and it's no Sixth Sense for sure, with lots of kettle drums and ominous violins in Alexandre Desplat's beautiful score, and of course the cinematography, which avoids surprises and gimmicks, and uses the same kind of level that The Boy's gaze employs. There are definite comparisons to be made here to Rosemary's Baby by Polanski, with the apartment locations and Kidman's hairstyle, which is very similar to Mia Farrow's in that film. Now, like M. Night Shyamalan and his best work, Birth works less with action than with implication. Birth, at first, seems equally poised between the rational and the irrational. Ghost story or psychological portrait. It has a twist in its tail, however, albeit one that has to be explained slightly laboriously. We come to realise that young Sean has withheld from Anna a terrible secret, right up to the final credits and beyond. And of course, I won't be revealing that. As Graham Greene said about The Almighty, it is perhaps only your sense of humour that will allow you to believe in this film, a bold and visually striking curiosity on which Glazer impresses his signature with a flourish. Birth from 2004 is really a film that got hidden away, and I'm very pleased to say it's now getting a 4K release in the Criterion collection. Now, it's not ablaze with colour, and the film's tones are certainly accentuated in this 4K UHD. You can appreciate the subtle cinematography a lot more. Now, it's supervised by Jonathan Glazer himself, with a 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio soundtrack, and the film is presented in Dolby Vision HDR. Now, Glazer went on, of course, to get even darker with his films Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson, and of course, more recently, the excellent Zone of Interest, starring Sandra Hüller, proving what an accomplished filmmaker he has now become. It's amazing, really, that he's only directed 4 full-length features so far. Now, Birth comes to the collection with a 4K UHD combo. It's a 4K UHD disc with the film itself and a second Blu-ray disc with the film and the following special features. Interview from 2004 with Jonathan Glazer and actor Nicole Kidman. New documentary on the making of the film featuring behind-the-scenes footage and interviews with Glazer, producers and members of the cast. New programme on the film's cinematography featuring interviews with camera operator Craig Hagginson and first assistant cameraman Eric Swanwick. A trailer and an essay written by the author Olivia Lang. And new cover art is designed by Neil Kellerhouse. Birth plays its outre premise with unflinching sincerity, yielding a profound reverie on the possibilities of love beyond the physical realm. The film has a running time of 100 minutes, and it has an aspect ratio of 1:5:1, and it releases in the US in the Criterion collection on Tuesday the 27th of January, and in the UK on Monday the 2nd of February on 4K UHD, a spine $12.97. In the next edition of Let's Talk Criterion, we'll be taking a look at the new 4K makeover for the classic western 3:10 to Yuma, starring Glenn Ford, coming to the collection soon. So until then, from me, as always, it's goodbye, and above all, good Criterion viewing.